Hello and welcome to another episode of the Project Zomboid Survivor Podcast. My name is Chuck Miller and I'm joined as always by my two cohorts. We've got Ash.
Hi.
And Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so today we have a potentially tricky topic. We are going to be running through the traits that you can choose for Project Zomboid when you're going through the character selection. We are going to be covering in today's episode all of the positive traits.
Yes.
And we are going to be using the PZ Wiki, which is on the internet, of course. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. So we're going to be running through all the positive traits, and we're going to be doing in a sort of a points order. So we're going to start with the traits that cost you the least points, should we say, as it's positive traits. So everybody will have their own opinion on traits.
No fighting.
What a
Possibly
good one.
Controversial.
Well, no, I'm sure we can agree to disagree, can't we, really?
Yeah.
I was more thinking of our listeners, I think, really. And so we're going to start with Speed Demon. Speed Demon. It costs you 1 point. It gives you it enables you to basically drive faster, doesn't it? Basically, do you guys take this one on your builds?
I guess I'll put my thing in. Whenever I pick this one, it always ends up with me in a tree. It's as simple as that. I don't pick it because I don't trust myself, because I find when I'm driving already in Project Zomboid, it to be too fast already. So going even faster, it just, my brain doesn't function and I end up in a tree. Simple as. I get that it has very good benefits when it comes if you're stuck in like a group of zombies, but I try my best to not get in those situations in the first place. So yeah, it's not something I pick. If anything, I'd pick the slower one, the slow Thunder Driver. But yeah, that's my opinion.
I mean, for me, I'm the same. I will crash into things all the time. All the time.
Who doesn't?
I think you're getting notorious for it on your channel
I
already.
I am, yeah.
I think I've seen a few comments on your videos.
Yeah, no, I am. But
Who gave him the driving license?
yeah, but yeah, I'm terrible for it. But so I don't think I've ever taken it, except for a shameless plug, but the Nomad series. But the only reason for that is because I'm driving around in an RV, and I think that extra power, if I got in the middle of a horde, get me out of it really. But
so is that a thing then? Because I've never taken Speed Demon, so I can't speak from personal experience, like maybe you guys can. The actual on the wiki, all it says is you can change gears twice as quick. And you've got 115% top speed. But are you saying that if you were surrounded by zombies and your vehicle was like not moving or finding it hard to move because there's just like 12 zombies in front of you, if you had Speed Demon, would you be more likely to get out of that sticky situation?
That's a hard one, really.
yeah,
I've heard some people say that you do, and I'm like, well, really? How can you tell?
Well, the way I would counter it, just to briefly touch on the negative ones, is that I know how bad Sunday Driver is at getting out of hordes.
Oh my God.
So I kind of thought it would be the opposite. And just I mean, 200% gear switching speed. Surely that's got to help. With acceleration, I would have thought.
Yeah. I mean.
But then I'm in an RV, so it's not. It's probably the only time I've used it. So it's it's probably not that noticeable, really. But I also had the free, I spare 1 point, so I was like, why not? I'll take it.
Yeah. What's the RV like to handle then?
It's all right actually. I mean, I think I've done some power slides in it, actually thinking about it, unintentionally due to my amazing driving.
Handbrake.
Yeah. But it's okay. You just gotta. I'm kind of learning to, even with Speed Demon, I'm kind of learning to take it nice and easy. Whether it ends like that, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually want to. In my series, I I've continuously tried. I have this mod where you get Mustangs, and I like Mustangs. And I've always wanted to like get one, build it, like put it together, fix it up, do it amazing, and I've done it. I've done it. It was a monster of a car, okay, and I literally it was in the garage at my house on my base. I fixed it up. I took it out the day later and I crashed it. So I just don't drive fast cars anymore because like they're more of a showpiece for me now. I'd rather much go out in that truck, not my nice sports car.
Get him in the little hatchback. What was it, the Dart or something? It's called.
Yeah.
And
That's a great vehicle.
that is good.
Yeah.
Not
so
too
I
good
just
storage.
avoid. I just avoid going fast unless I'm being impatient and put my foot down. But when I'm being impatient, I'm being stupid, which probably results in my death. So it's a downward spiral. Speed demons. I think it's very much on the person. How safe is it, the person you are?
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, like I say, one of the reasons I took it, I think I had a spare point left over, and I was like, why not? I wasn't. I didn't go in thinking, I need speed demon because I got the RV. It was just okay. I've got a point. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I doubt it's top of many people's lists for a trait to choose.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. It probably ends up being that's the one and only time. I'll try and be brief. One only time I took Sunday Driver, which is one of the negative traits, because I had 1 point. I needed to balance it out, and so I just took that, and it's just crazy. You don't drive above 30, do you?
It's terrible.
Bonkers.
It's terrible.
Can you imagine that in real life? You just wouldn't survive, would you? Especially in Britain. Like, I'm driving, and you're driving at 30. The speed limit's 30, and there's this guy tailgating you with like a foot in between you and his big truck, and you're like, just back off a bit. But everyone always goes faster than you're meant to.
Oh yeah, they do. Not us, but
not us. No, we never. No.
Oh, well, I guess that covers Speed Demon. We'll move on. Yeah. All right, so next up we've got Cat's Eyes. The next positive trait costs you 2 points. And the description is really imaginative. It says, better vision at night.
Jeez.
And it gives you 20% better vision. Do you guys choose this one?
No.
I'll jump in it. I use this on pretty much every build.
Yeah,
Cat's
I do
Eyes.
too.
Yeah, it just helps, I think, at night. Not even thinking about it, I don't really do a lot at night. Playing, especially in the series I do, I always sleep at night, but I always take it just in case. For 2 points, I'll always have it.
Yeah, I sort of take it as a YouTube thing because I find that. I mean, again, I really don't do much at night because it's just too terrifying for me, and I just find that the Cat's Eyes thing, it just because it makes everything just a little bit more visible at night. It's just a bit more viewer friendly, I think.
It really came in useful for me at multiplayer. When I played multiplayer, when you are going, because you can't sleep. Well, most servers you can't sleep. And I was playing with people, they were like, it's so dark, I can't see anything. I was like, well, why? And then I realised I've got Cat's Eyes.
Just see.
But yeah, I think in multiplayer it would be a lot more handy because you got to wait around at base in the night otherwise. Helpful in multiplayer. And I think I probably just kept it from that really, and kept using it. I think.
As we've been talking about this, I've had a brilliant idea for a series. So it's a challenge, right? But you've got to inverse your sleep and still survive. So you've got to sleep during the day and do everything during the night.
Oh, right.
And I know that Chuck, you said that you were not scared, but it creeps you out at night. And I thought it would be a good little mini horror series that I'm actually doing now, because I don't know, Project Zomboid at night is frightening, scary. The atmosphere is, very, very scary sometimes. And I thought it'd be brilliant if I do a video series about me just surviving at night.
Yeah.
That would be it'd be interesting.
Maybe get some sprinters in there as well.
No, that's hang on a minute. That's a bit too much. But yeah, no, I mean, I would need to see the difference between the not having cat's eyes and then having cat's eyes as a trait.
Yeah,
It
yeah, 'cause
definitely helps.
20% doesn't sound like much, does it? 20%.
No,
No.
it seems like it's. I mean, I don't know if you can put it into percentage, but I would say 50%. I think it does help a lot at night.
Well,
So-
it's weird. Yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, things can get complicated, can't it? Because the other thing it does say in the wiki is that it can affect your search mode, which means your ability to forage. So I guess that means that you can forage more effectively later in the evening. I presume that's what that means. Would you agree?
Yeah, maybe that's what that percentage is.
Maybe.
20% better vision at night foraging, possibly.
Maybe.
It's not really very clear, is it?
I've got a little. Okay, cat's eyes. So I got it up the wiki. Radius modifier plus 0.2.
Okay.
Yeah, brilliant. And the ignore the darkness is just 20%. So I think it is. You just see better,
20% better, yeah.
20% better.
Because you're not going
there's
to
not
be
much
foraging
else
at
to
night,
it.
are you? Really?
God, can you imagine running through a forest, pitch black? No, I'm not even
Yeah.
thinking about that. No.
But
Yeah,
I
I've just.
I
not really
would
picked it.
I would say worth the 2 points personally, especially if you're playing multiplayer. Even with, I mean, if you have set the brightness to, is it bright, the night setting? Yeah, it's worth
Basically
it.
day, isn't it?
Yeah, if you got the spare points, I would say take it, and like I say, I take it every time.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cheap, isn't it? Minus 2 points. Pretty cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right,
I think
should we
it's.
move? No, go on.
I think it's something that if I have 2 points spare,
Yeah, that's true.
I'd get it.
Yeah, it's
you know.
it's not essential, is it? It
It's
isn't
not a make or
essential.
break.
Some people might have a preference for it, but yeah, it's not going to be the difference between life or death, really, is it? I suppose.
no,
Yeah.
no. Well, maybe in the dark sprinters possibly, but it's
Might know.
a normal run. It's not going to matter too much, I don't think. Because you
think
can
if
also
you-
have a flashlight anyway, can't you? Not that I've ever
Yeah,
used
that's
a
right.
flashlight really, but
Have you
Oh,
not?
I use,
no, I've used it a couple of
I
times.
use them all the time, man.
I hate all the
Maybe
time.
it's because I take cat's eyes.
That's why
there
I
you
think it's
go.
more likely that you don't go out at night. By the sound
Well,
of it.
yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah. I mean, I use flashlights. I always think it's quite
They're essential.
they're essential. I mean, I always carry one with me, because
Yeah.
oftentimes I'm out for too long, so I'll look at the time and it'll be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll look back again and it's like 9, and I'm like, it's pitch black basically outside because I've been inside, but like looting. So I come outside, open the door, it's basically pitch black because I play with pitch black nights.
Right.
So I need that I need that flashlight because I couldn't do it without it because it's literally black everything else apart from where you're looking. So I need that flashlight and I've always used them. I've always carried one on me. Weird, you've never had one.
I it's definitely for me. It's up there with, the things you must always have, like vitamins or a hammer and all this sort of thing. Anyway, but we all play differently. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. So
Ash just doesn't go out at night. That's it.
yeah. I mean, if you use flashlights anyway, then yeah, you may as well save them 2 points that you would have spent on cat's eyes, I suppose.
Why are you taking cat's eyes then if you're not going out at night?
Like I say, I think it's just been a habit left over from multiplayer days.
Okay,
It must be it. It must be because, thinking about it, I don't. The darkest it's ever been when I've been playing really is another plug. John Wick in the mall with no.
Oh my god!
It's not intentional.
No, I'm sorry. We're just going to have to start limiting the amount of times you plug. We're just going to have to off screen, off mic. We're
Shameless
going to have to
plug
come up
within
with
the
some
first 2
sort
minutes.
of gentleman's agreement.
But that is the only time no power in a really dark building, and then it'll come in handy. But I think that's probably the only time I did actually use a flashlight as well.
Mm-hmm.
I found one, and I was using it
Yeah,
for a
no.
bit.
I mean, this also. I guess this also comes into something which, I would definitely use cat's eyes if it was more see in the dark better, not just see at night. Because if it was see in the dark better, well, one thing that I really want Zomboid to do is, I know it's a bit, some people might not like it, but I want it to work on its lighting system. I know they are, aren't they?
Yeah,
But,
Yeah.
they're going to make big changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like the thing at the moment is, I'm 7 months into the apocalypse. I walk into a house, and I boarded up the windows, but it's still kind of generally light inside.
Mm.
You know, like I think if there's no light source, it should be.
Yeah,
You know,
that is
pitch
what
black.
they're going to do. I think they're
That is
doing.
what they're going to do, and it's going to make it so much harder. If you are searching
love it.
through a big, if you're searching through a big building, 2, 3, 4 floors,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to be so much harder if it is pitch
Basements.
black. I mean, it
Basements
makes
are gonna
sense
be
that it's pitch
pitch
black.
black.
I mean, imagine trying to go through the Peregrine Hospital in Louisville with it
no.
being dark pitch black
no.
inside. You just wouldn't do it, would you? You know.
You take one look at it, open the door, and be like, "Nah, I'm going to
No,
see it."
so
Just
yeah.
close the door.
So
Yeah.
and we probably shouldn't start talking about that because we could probably spend the next 10 minutes talking
Yeah.
about what they might do with the lighting. But
Yeah.
I'm not looking
stop
forward to
myself.
that change.
Mhm.
Should we move on? Should we move on to the next
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
All right. So next positive trait we've got is Dexterous. So transfers items 50% faster. Again,
Love
it's a
it.
pretty cheap one, minus just 2-point cost.
Mm.
Anybody use this one? What are your
Love
thoughts
it.
on it?
Love it. Have to.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is, it's so useful. You know, because in my build series, the amount of logs that I have to lug over and then I have to take
that's
out my
true.
inventory and stuff,
Yeah.
like planks. It's like when I come back, I've got 20, I'd say 40 logs in the back of my truck, and like just on my persons and like the seats and stuff. I pull them out and I put them on the floor, and without the 50%, it would be so much longer. And you spend enough time already. You know when like you drag and you or you take all from a crate and your character stands there for like 2 hours just
Mhm.
picking up every single nail you've left in that box.
Yeah.
With this, you know, it's so much faster and so much easier, and it's something which, going back on, like if I didn't use it now, God, I
It'd
would
be a
just
shock.
I would just the amount of time you would waste, you know.
But
Well,
then you could.
wouldn't you just speed
fast-forward.
up time though?
Yeah, but
But
it's
it-
more like what you do in the day of like the character. So like, you know, if you spend, let's say, you wake up
You're still
at
using
9.
the time in game. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you wake up at 9, let's say, you get your food, which takes you maybe half an hour because you're making something, and then you wanna, you know,
Just makes everything more efficient throughout the day.
yeah,
I
it's more
suppose, doesn't
efficient.
it?
You spend more time out there, not pulling everything, you know, from one crate to another.
And
you spend more time
fast
doing
forwarding
something
is
productive.
dangerous as well.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
dangerous. I do it all the
Exactly.
time.
I know. I just get bored and I do the like walk to function.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
no, this is gonna end bad because I take my hands off my keyboard sometimes. I'm just like clicking, and it's like a point and click adventure game until
Until
yeah.
you get mobbed.
a zombie. Yeah, because it automatically slows you down, doesn't it? To like
Yeah,
normal
yeah.
speed.
I don't think it used to. It does. It does now. I know, but
It does, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it'd have to.
I
That'd be
mean,
a bit too.
It's interesting because I've never taken Dexterous. I've never taken it, taken it. And I think sometimes how you play and your play style, it
Yeah.
colours how you perceive a trait or whether you think it's attractive or good or not. Now, with me, I it's different on YouTube. I only do 1 hour days for all the YouTube uploads I do, but I've spent probably the majority of my time playing Zomboid before YouTube with 2 hour days.
Yep.
Because I always felt that it would help me get established better. It made it a bit easier on those first few days because you'd have more time to find a base and stuff.
Yeah.
So because those days were longer, I would just speed up. If I was transferring inventory and I felt it was safe, then I would just speed up time. So I've just got used to doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever taken Dexterous.
I'd
But I get
give
what
it
you're
a
saying.
try
I totally
sometime.
get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken it once or
it's useful.
twice, and it is nice to have it. But it's one of them luxury traits for me. Like, I'll only take it if I've got a spare couple of points or something like that. It's not a must-have, but it is nice. Just that quicker transfer speed. It is nice, but again, it's a luxury
nice.
trait for me.
Yeah, well, I tend to do a lot of looting. I love the looting aspect.
Yeah.
I like to have, well, majority of the time stuff is coming into my inventory and stuff's going out of my inventory, and I want that to be fit, quick, and efficient because it's not exactly I'd rather be. It's like out of a day, out of the 12 hours, maybe you're up. I don't want to spend 2 of those hours ruffling and rummaging through bags or crates and stuff. I'd rather spend an hour and have the other, hour that I would have spent rummaging.
Yeah, when you
something
think
else
of
and
it
because
like
more
that, it does. Yeah, it does.
And it is dangerous to speed up time. Some things takes, even if you're on the normal sort of transfer speed, if you like, some things take so long
They do.
to transfer. Like I'm thinking, I mean, there's probably tons, but I'm thinking sledgehammers. But what things that you use a lot that you might have to transfer would be guns, so like shotguns, and gas cans.
Mm-hmm.
They just take forever to transfer.
Yeah.
And it is annoying.
Yeah. It's weird because obviously in real life you can just like flip your bag upside down and a gas can will just plop out. But
and I think it's also affected by the moodlets as well because that slows down inventory transfer, doesn't it?
True. But some things you transfer are ridiculously quick at transferring them.
Nails.
I suppose it all even.
Yeah, when you think about it, nails would be the hardest thing to get out of a big old duffel bag. Loose nails.
Picking them all like, oh no.
That's what they need to flip this around a bit, definitely.
Yeah, they do. Big objects come out easy.
Quicker the more weight it is. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
It's tricky though because it's kind of like, well, if you make it too realistic, things just get annoying, and then it detracts a lot of the fun of playing a video game. But it's a difficult balance.
I mean, I can just imagine if you're going for realism, you can't just building and just hammers their finger into the wall.
You've got an injury.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, for Christ's sake! But yeah, I mean, there's a line between realism and
there's probably
like that. There probably is. Nail your hand to a wall.
There is a mod that I tried called NRK, which is the name of the modder. Random Injuries. I took that one.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I tried it, and I mean, it was about 2 years ago, so maybe it's different now. But it was just too annoying because you would just get random injuries, and it was just so much easier to get injured. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was like one of those random injuries was like hammering your thumb while you were building or something. It probably is one. But anyway, we digress again, don't we?
Yeah.
Should we move on? You got anything more to say about Dexterous?
I'd say give it a go. But like Ashley, I think it is a luxury trait, just nice to have.
Yeah, I think maybe it's one of those things you might take if you had a few points left over and you weren't sure what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, let's move on. We've got Fast Reader next. Pretty self-explanatory. 130% reading speed. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's a must-have because 2 points, that's a steal.
Are you making that up? Come on. That can't be a must-have.
That's a steal.
No, I would say I would disagree with that. I would go slow reader. But,
I always take slow reader.
Yeah, the only time again I take fast reader is multiplayer when you can't fast forward.
That's true.
And they have the reading speed set to low because you can increase it with the settings and stuff. But fast reader. No, well, single player it's definitely a no for me. Definitely.
I think it might. The only time that I might find it attractive is when I find a skill magazine. I usually, if I feel safe and I've got the time, I'll usually read it straight away.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
And then it's just read and it's done because a magazine is obviously
leave it on the floor,
shorter to read than a full skill book.
Yeah.
And it is tricky because if you read it there and then, it's always tempting to speed up the time.
Yeah.
And I can see that a fast reader would be useful then. But for me, the time that I would read books will tend to be towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
When I'm somewhere safe and I've got a spare few hours.
I do it at home. All the time.
Yeah.
I have like a reading chair in my base. Like
you're so domesticated.
It's like I don't read stuff on the go. I like pick it up. Like it's like with a book. I'm reading books. I'm reading a book series at the moment, and it's always that I've got this now. I can enjoy and look forward to reading it when I'm back home. It's a bit like that in this game where I'm like,
really immersive.
Brilliant. I've got the bag. I'll do it when I'm home and I've got nothing to do. I'd rather just prioritize getting something done. More important. Because, I know it's not long, but that half an hour that you spend reading that book, you could be doing something else, and you could then spend that half an hour back at base when you wouldn't be doing anything anyway.
It's again, I would say it's nice to have, but I would rather gain the points
Yeah.
from slow reader. I think.
It's tricky because I always take slow reader.
Yeah.
And if you think about it this way, if you take fast reader, obviously you can't take slow reader. So it's like a 4-point swing. If
Yeah.
you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I always take slow reader for what should be obvious reasons, but it is annoying if I want to read a whole skill book because I want to read the skill book, so I've got the full boost before I do, you know, whatever it is, metalworking or whatever. It is annoying when it takes
half a day or something.
3/4 of the day,
Yeah.
something like that. It is annoying, but
It takes longer than that of the later ones, doesn't it?
yeah, it's like 360 pages, isn't it, for the top ones? As if we ever get there, right? You know.
You die before you read the second book.
Except for carpentry, I suppose. We always max out carpentry.
Carpentry is the first one to go. No,
I kind of give up on carpentry after I get the big rain collectors, which level 7, maybe 8.
Yeah,
I think it's
7. It's 7.
Yeah.
Read
Seven's
the books
maybe
just in
stairs.
case, but I won't actively aim to increase it once I get that. And the stairs, because stairs are level 7 or 8, aren't they? I think.
Yes, I think that's
7.
put me
that's
to
it,
test
7.
it. I'm the one who's building the building series now.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember.
You should
Oh
know.
no, I think it's 7 or an 8.
Yeah, it's around there.
It's probably something more completely different, but you know.
Correct us
Yeah.
in the comments.
Yeah, please.
It's
Let's
really
know.
interesting. We've gone through like 4. We've only gone through 4 traits, right? And don't dare tell me how long that's taken. But already we're just with 3 people, just the 3 of us. There's quite a lot of opposites. You know, one of us, somebody will take the positive side of that trait, if you like, and somebody will take the negative. There's quite a lot of different sort of approaches and viewpoints. It's interesting. See, I just would never take fast reader because I find that normal reading speed is quick enough. But I would always, it is annoying. I always take slow reader, and I find it annoying.
So, like you say, it's the 4 points, isn't it? If you take fast reader instead of slow reader, and 4 points, that's some, that can be quite helpful for some things. Some of the positive ones that I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a kind of what kind of player you are. But I know this is an entire rabbit hole that we can go down. But I'm very much someone who likes to always be on the move. I like to be doing stuff, and I like to be when I'm out of my base time in like fighting mode, and then when I'm back at base, I'm like just chilling, and I can do stuff like read. But I don't know. It is once again, it's one of the luxury traits that you can have if you want, but if you don't have it, it's not it's not a make or break.
It's not essential. It's not first on the list.
Yeah, I'd much rather have something like fast learner or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, should we move on?
I think we better.
That. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so keeping with the positive traits, next, Outdoorsman. Now you see, this to me on face value seems it's quite cheap, right?
Yeah.
It costs 2 points.
Yeah.
You're not affected by harsh weather conditions is the description, and you basically got a reduced chance of catching a cold.
Yep.
But there's quite a few. What's really good is the walking or running through trees, right?
Yes.
The reduction in getting scratched or lacerated, because obviously in this game, even if you just get a scratch on your leg, you're limping, aren't you? You're limping.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're probably quite likely to have to go through a forested area.
Yeah.
So I would say, I would imagine there's probably quite a few people listening that would regard this as an essential trait, that they would always take this. What's your take on it?
All right, I'll put my point in. This is a must-have for me.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I agree. It is a must.
I don't know about you guys, but having a cold in Project Zomboid, when you when you sneeze or cough or something, God, you could be like the sneakiest ninja, but one cough, you're done. Like the amount of times, the one time that I didn't pick this, I got a cold, and I just couldn't go anywhere sneakily. Like it all had to be guns blazing because I was gonna sneeze and alert everything. So I just found it so frustrating. I hate having colds in real life. They suck. So
I mean, I think
I
I've
just
taken
don't
this
do it.
every time, and I don't think I've got a cold when I've had this trait. I know it's only
It's weird. Me
a
neither.
10%. Oh, so so you've only got a 10% chance of catching a cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I've ever had a cold with this. I've been out in rain, snow, all that. And I've played the CDDA challenge, tried that, and you start that with a cold, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Yes.
Especially with the zombie count on that. So yeah, having a cold is horrendous in Project Zomboid. So yeah, I always take this one. I never seem, even with that 10% chance of catching a cold, I never seem to get one. The scratches and the lacerations are nice. 1%, 1.25, but for me, it's mainly not catching that cold, not having to worry about being out in the rain and
I
stuff.
can deal with a scratch laceration. Because I always carry around.
I never really use notch planks.
No,
To start a campfire.
I've used it once, and that was in a tutorial video I did. So there you go. I've never used it much.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, I probably have used it at some point, but it's not.
Yeah.
Can you light cigarettes on a campfire or a notched plank? I don't think you can
I
you?
don't think you can.
There's a mod for that.
Well,
there is a mod for that.
light
I
up,
came
isn't
across it the other day.
Light up, where you
I can't remember what it's called.
stoves and stuff.
Yeah, you can do it on campfires. You
Yeah.
can do it in the car as well,
Yeah.
because all the cars have a cigarette lighter.
Yeah,
So it's pretty cool.
especially in the 90s.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what it says in the mod. Yeah, exactly. So we're much more positive about this.
Yeah,
one,
we
right?
agree
I
on
think-
this one. Yeah,
I mean, it's a cheap one, isn't it? For just minus 2 points.
just for that cold 10% chance of catching a cold.
It does, we should say it does also positively affect your foraging abilities as well.
Yes.
Although we're not. It doesn't. It's not exactly clear how significant the impact is, but because it's very complicated now, isn't it? The foraging. There's so many different factors it takes into account.
Yeah,
when you're
there
foraging
is.
now.
It is quite confusing. I just forage. And any bonuses are good. I look at them on the side, but there's still probably the same amount of minus percentages on the panel when I look at it as well. So I'm just like, oh well, and just kind of get what I get when I'm foraging.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, if it gives you a benefit to it, then that's a little extra, isn't it? Like I say, it's definitely worth it just for that cold chance.
Yeah. You don't want to be sneaking around a city, and suddenly you just start coughing, and you just not good. Just don't even risk it.
Guys, we all agreed on that. We all agreed on that.
We did.
Throughout the whole way through.
Yeah. The first one.
Incredible. Right, well, next in the positive traits list, we're going in points order, in case you hadn't realised. We've got Wakeful, so another one that costs 2 points. It needs less sleep, but specifically you need 30% less sleep. So you've got more hours awake and able to do stuff. What's your take on this, Ash? We'll start with you.
I go with this one all the time pretty much. I go with it every playthrough, and then my recent one I went without it, and I could really notice that difference of not having it. My guy was getting tired at I don't know, like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, whereas before it's probably around 9, 10ish, give or take. Definitely, it's a must for me. I think I regret not taking it on my most recent playthrough, but and for 2 points as well. Like you say, you get compared to the hours in the day you get, it's definitely worth it. I think.
Yeah. For me, it's I don't know really, but I'm not well versed in it. I've never really I don't know how to really put it, but I've never really picked it. Nor have I picked Sleepyhead.
Because I wouldn't have Sleepyhead, no way.
No. But like I feel like I get what I need to do in a day, and sometimes I find myself waiting just for my character to get tired. Sometimes.
Yeah, I thought that when I was using it, I was like, well, I'm always I could probably with Wakeful. I normally kick around base until I go to bed at like 11, 12.
Yeah.
And I'm only just starting to get tired. So I thought, okay, without the trait, he might go to like 9, 10, start getting tired. So that kind of work out. Go back, read a bit of a book, whatever, go to sleep at 10. So.
Yeah.
But I find he gets tired so much earlier. Like I'd say, like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And as soon as you get tired, you got to go back. Unless you're using firearms like melee, I always head back. It's not worth it because of the debuff and stuff. But yeah, I would take it. I would say.
Yeah.
I think it's another along with Outdoorsman. It's probably again it's a cheap one, isn't it? For the impact that it has on your ability, I'd say that's a cheap one. I think it's probably on a lot of people's musts for their builds. Probably, would you say Wakeful?
I think so. Yeah.
I'd say majority of people do use it.
Yeah.
I'd say go 70%.
It's cheap
maybe.
for what it gives you, I think.
Yeah, it's only 2, isn't it? Not too bad.
Yeah. So the actual effect, it says on the wiki, it's 30% less sleep.
Yeah.
But I suppose the way to flip that, the way to look at that is you spend less time being tired. Is that another way to think about it?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
But you can still get exhausted.
Yeah, you still get exhausted, but that dreaded tiredness takes longer, from what I've found.
So I've never taken Wakeful. I don't know how or why. It's always slit through the net. I always seem to have my eyes on other things.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much
description,
experience on it.
On that description, you would think he would only need, like 7 hours sleep instead of like 10 or something. But yeah,
I think it's 5 or 6 hours sleep, isn't it? Rather than like 8 or 9, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Is that the way to put it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But does it mean that? Because I'm quite interested in this. Because get this, I'm about to plug. I never plug. I'm about to plug.
You never plug.
I know. I never remember. I just wish I could get with it like you guys do. But I've got a new series. I'm not going to just plug it just for the hell of it. But it's coming out soon. It's Camden County, which is a map mod. I'm really excited to look at it. But the reason I'm bringing it up is not to plug it, but I took Wakeful for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because the first night I was only the first level of tiredness, and I went to sleep at 9:30 because that's kind of what I was. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was really funny. But what I'm interested to ask, if for those that have got more experience of using Wakeful, do you literally get less sleepy? Do you spend less time being sleepy? So I'm thinking, does it minimize your reliance on things like coffee and vitamin pills? What would you say about that? Because I'm quite interested because I've not used it before, and the amount of times where it's still light outside, and it's like maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and I've started to get tired, which can be quite a significant debuff on your ability to fight. And the amount of times I've thought, I wish I had some coffee or some vitamin pills, and I've not had them, and it's really slowed me down. And would Wakeful? Would you be able to say if Wakeful minimises your reliance on having to have that sort of thing?
I would say yes, because I very rarely ever use any coffee or vitamins or anything like that. But the time when I hadn't had it, I always keep some vitamins with me because I found I was getting tired earlier and it was affecting me, and it nearly got me in. Well, it nearly got me killed one time because I was away from the RV and it was just absolute carnage. It was quite early on. So I always keep them with me. Whereas before, because I've always taken it before, I never really used coffee or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting. That's good because I've never played it with Wakeful, and I've always had quite a reliance on having some vitamin pills or coffee.
Yeah.
I'm actually see
how you get on. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, because it's cheap, isn't it? It's only 2 points it costs, and I can see why. There's probably a lot of players that would have that that's a must in their sort of character creation build. By the sound of it.
I wouldn't if someone said to me, "Oh yeah, that's something that I always pick," I wouldn't be like, "Really?" I'd be like, "Yeah, fair enough." That's a trait which, there's no kind of. It's however you want to play it.
Yeah, I used to think it was a must-have. Did a run without it because I thought possibly it is a luxury. But doing the run without it, for me personally, it's now a must-have in the next one I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, I'm glad I took it for my latest series. There we go.
There you go.
Well, the next positive trait. I mean, I don't think is there anybody who really takes this? Iron Gut. Iron Gut costs you 3 points, so it's more expensive than things like Outdoorsman, Wakeful, and you are less chance to have food illness. 50% less chance to get food illness.
Never taken it.
Never taken it.
I can't think there's anybody that's never taken it.
No, I'm one that would take weak stomach.
I always get
definitely.
stomach. I think the way you do it is just don't eat.
Don't eat rotten or raw stuff. Yeah,
simple as, and you're good.
Or
you don't need
tainted
it.
water, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't need it. Just be careful what you eat.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that with this one.
Burnt food can get you in a bit of trouble with weak stomach as well, though, I think.
Yeah.
So just be careful of that as well.
But I think even on insanely rare loot, I've never been in a situation where I've not been able to find any food and I've got no choice other than to eat food that's going to make me ill, you know?
Yeah. There's food out there, definitely.
Yeah.
Wherever you
are.
I
mean,
think.
you can, even with the foraging now as well, can't you? You can find stuff, even at low levels. So that we'd all agree on that. That's a waste of time, right? Let's not even
waste of
spend
time.
much time talking about that.
No.
I think one thing that it could be useful for is if you're wanting to get if you like just to randomly pick up mushrooms from the forest floor and eat them and figure out.
Could you eat poisoned? Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, because if you haven't read the Herbalist magazine, and you were foraging, you wouldn't know if it was a poisonous mushroom or not, right? Yeah.
So, but that's the only logical thing I could do, or think about. Other than that,
it was good effort. It was a good effort.
I tried.
Well, with the next one, so we're getting to sort of more expensive ones now, and it's more sort of more difficult to weigh up whether it's something you should choose, I guess. But next we've got, in the positive traits, we've got Brave, which costs 4 points. You've got a 30% panic, with the exclusion of night terrors and phobias. So you, I suppose the way to read that is you're 70% less likely to get panicked. Is that the way? Am I reading that right? Is that what that means?
I think so.
It says 30% panic, right? So, what are your third of? I suppose you're a third of a.
Yeah, that
one third likely.
That would probably be right because desensitize is no panic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've used Brave recently, probably within the last 4 months, and it was a going around killing as many zombie kind of playthrough. And I didn't hardly get panicked at all, I don't think. That's the only time I've taken it, and I probably won't take it again because most of my playthroughs have the mod what makes you desensitized after so many kills.
That's that dynamic traits.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't take it normally, but it 4 points, I don't know, might be worth it.
Well, does anybody know what the debuff is for panic? So say if you're going to get panicked with a pretty straightforward character. If you're fighting 4, 5, 6 zombies, you start to get panicked, don't you? What's the sort of debuff for your melee capabilities? Anybody know?
I don't
know. When you're shooting, you become less accurate because your hands start to hypothetically shake.
Yeah, the debuff is if you like really panicked, you do like no damage. It's like being panicked is like the worst thing you can be, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think an example would be when you're composed, you can like swing properly, but like when you're panicked, it's more of like a desperate kind of just get away.
But I think there's so many beta blockers around and alcohol and stuff, isn't there, to kind of combat that being panicked. It's nice to not worry about panic, I suppose. Panic is a horrible debuff, I would say.
Yeah. We're looking at it now. There's 4 levels of panic.
Yeah.
You've got slight panic, strong, and extreme panic.
Yeah.
So extreme panic is 30% decreased melee damage. That's a lot, isn't it?
What's that? What panic's that?
That's extreme. That's the top level panic. Yeah. That's 30%, and it goes down by 10%. As you go down, so it's quite
especially if you're like hungry and slightly tired as well. you
Yeah,
end up
exactly.
doing like 10% damage or something.
Yeah.
It's the negative moodles that get you in the end. I'm saying. I'm telling
is.
you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Look at your noodles.
Yeah. Keep them
No.
good. Keep them green.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
So
I
you
think
got-
it's just a. I think it's. If it depends on your play style. If you're kind of one who doesn't like a lot of fighting, you don't necessarily need it. But if you're doing a lot of fighting, brave, it's definitely something that you should you should look at getting. You don't have to because you can survive without it. But I think the damage drop off when you are panicked is so severe
Mhm.
that it's something that you'll definitely notice the difference in. And in my playthroughs, and like you said, Ash, I don't really get panicked that much, really. Like I've been followed by like 300 zombies, and my character was panicking slightly, but not like a regular person would be bricking it, but my character, was fine because of that trait. I think I had desensitized. I can't remember. I think
Desensitize is amazing. It really
Yeah.
is.
I'm just looking. So the only way to get desensitized is by taking the veteran perk, isn't it?
yes,
The veteran occupation.
the occupation,
So I actually
which I think
thought
I do.
could,
I think I have actually.
I thought you could actually take it as a positive trait. So possibly having brave could be quite good if you didn't want to, because the veteran occupation is quite high points, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's. Let me have a look. Yes, so the veteran is -8 points, so it's definitely
8 points, half, and what's brave for? From my experience with desensitized and brave, if you don't have dynamic traits or whatever it is, and you didn't want to take veteran, and you didn't want to be panicked, yeah, I would say take brave over veteran.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing is, it's there's 7 different viewpoints because I'm kind of like, well, you're most likely you're going to get panicked when you've got a group of zombies, right? And if it's relatively early in game and your weapon proficiency is quite low, you're like level 1, 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't be fighting 5 or 6 zombies anyway, should you? You should be looking to like lose them somehow.
Yeah,
think?
that's true.
Yeah.
Arguably. So it's kind of, well, brave. If I think about it from that specific narrow point of view, I'm thinking, well, brave, 4 points. Not so
I get what you're
tactical.
I think brave could be more handy at the beginning, like when you said when you started, if you do run into a horde and you want to fight them, and you don't have good weapons or beta blockers, it could be useful then. But like you say, you probably want to just get out of there early game.
And beta blockers generally aren't that hard to find.
No,
Are they really?
They're everywhere, really.
So we're not so attracted to that one, are we? Really?
I
I don't take it generally.
Well, I don't take it because I take the veteran.
Okay.
Because my play style is combat oriented. I look for a fight quite a lot.
See, that's why you think the game is easy. You take veteran. You take the best occupation.
Is it the best though, or is it not? Because it comes
I think
massive.
Is it not got the
-8.
highest cost, isn't it? I don't know.
Only thing you get from veteran is +2 aiming, +2 reloading, and desensitized. So you don't get anything else that you would normally get. So this is literally just combat oriented.
And the only
firearms oriented, I suppose.
Firearms, yes.
Yeah, the best one of them is desensitized because aiming and reloading you can get up with it in a day. I would have thought level 2.
Well, I just like sit there on a couch, just like reloading and unloading a magazine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we're not too keen on brave then, are we? I don't think.
Well, it's not a bad trait. I think it's just for
a luxury.
For the points. For the points, there may be better options. Maybe.
I'd pick it if I didn't have it desensitized because of my playstyle. But yeah, I understand if you don't want to pick it because you just wouldn't get into those positions, or if you did, you'd be able to escape.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, should we move on? Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So still we're in that -4, so 4 points cost. We've now got Graceful. So makes less noise when moving, as you'd expect, but the actual effect 60% footsteps sound radius, and a 90% chance to trip while running or sprinting, vaulting a low fence. What do you think about that one? Do you take Graceful? Do you use it?
I don't take it, but it looks like a good trait.
90% chance to trip.
They've got that.
Yeah,
they've got that. They've got that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, hold on a minute.
I think it's 90% chance not to trip on when running or sprinting.
Really makes more sense.
I wouldn't take it. I don't take it. I haven't. I don't really do a lot of vaulting over low fences. The not being tripped by lunging zombies quite nice, actually, looking at it. Footstep sounds, not really too bothered about that. Yeah, it's not something I do take. I like I said, I'm lunging from zombies, but again, that's quite rare. And I find with a high enough athletic skill, you can vault over fences without tripping anyway, normally. So yeah, not one for me, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, no, it's something that 6% footstep sound radius. That's like that's pretty good. That's a big reduction on your sound radius. But thinking about it, it's alright already. I don't really, it's fine. I mean, if you're a new player, I can see why you'd want to pick it because that does look attractive. But I don't know. I wouldn't see 6% reduction or like a 6% footstep sound radius as important.
It's not worth the 4 points compared to
Not
Brave,
worth 4
I would
points.
say.
No.
I'd rather pick other things.
It's quite niche. I think that's the word I'd use. It's niche. I think maybe if it's difficult because there's so many different ways to play this game. If you'd gone sort of sandbox custom playthrough sort of way and you had a very high zombie count, or you'd maybe put them at a high sensitivity, like for noise or whatever, then maybe this would be more attractive, more useful, maybe. I think it's kind of niche, isn't it? If you're in a normal sort of pretty standard apocalypse playthrough, should we say, you can make do without it, can't you? Really?
Yeah.
I think it's very much like situational.
Yeah. I think the normal sneak is effective enough, isn't it? I think when we're trying to avoid zombies.
Yeah, I would say so.
And I think maybe most people's sort of core play style isn't sneak orientated. Would you say that was fair? I'd agree with that. People want to fight zombies, don't they?
Yeah,
it's a zombie game.
They want to fight.
It's a zombie game.
All right, well, should we go on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
I have nothing more to add on Graceful.
No, I think it looks nice, but when you actually have experience with it, I don't think it would make that much of a difference.
No, I think in-game experience, it probably wouldn't have a dramatic effect for the amount of points it costs. Fair to
Although,
say.
I mean, I that's just like off like a hypothetical situation. I would actually like to go and have a look at the actual difference in the game, but we may be completely wrong. If it is a massive difference, let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening and you have a different opinion, if you think we're wrong about
Call us out.
Get those comments down below. Let us know what positive traits you like to pick and why.
Definitely.
But we're going to move on to inconspicuous now. This really, I mean, it's really very, very. I think we're going to have a very similar sort of viewpoint to Graceful. So inconspicuous, you have 50% chance of zombies spotting you. Anybody use this one?
Never take it. I think I saw Ratanara do a video on this. May have been outdated, but it was barely noticeable. They actually did the testing and everything, and it wasn't very good. Wasn't worth, again, not worth 4 points. I wouldn't take it.
It's contextual. I think it's to the person again, because I like combat in the game, and if I'm going into a area, so if I'm going into a town which I know is going to have zombies in it, I'm going to be ready for a fight, and if they see me, they see me. I just don't see the value from maybe it's like the experience that I guess people have where it doesn't matter really if zombies see you as much, because
I think-
it depends on your playstyle as well.
Yeah, I think the Graceful and inconspicuous, possibly some kind of sprinter playthrough.
Yeah, that'd be useful on Sprinter.
Where you
wouldn't
want to keep a low profile, but if they actually make that much difference, I don't know, because I don't really have a lot of experience using them.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I've never picked it. I'm sure it's useful again, but it's also 4 points. So it's one of those things which I don't know if I'd pick.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think I would personally.
Hello, just popping in the editing phase. Want to let you guys know that part 2 of this will be coming out next Sunday. Ended up turning into quite a long episode, so we've decided to split it into 2. See you next Sunday. Bye.